welcome to the official, unofficial Next Level Chef podcast. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever this podcast may find you. I hope that it finds you in great spirits. Welcome back, friend, and welcome if you are new. I am your host, Honest Am, the host of this here Dear Showrunners podcast, a podcast that is all about TV, and just a little bit of life. And this season, we will be covering Next Level Chef. Now, this episode was all about reimagining childhood classics. We actually started the episode really cute with little mini Gordon up there. I mean, guys, he looked just like his daddy. Like, that's kind of crazy. And also, I'm like, Gordon, what are your kids' ages? Because where are you doing with a kid that young? But anyways, we got that man business. But we started off the challenge with Gordon babies, standing up there as Chef Gordon, and Naisha and Blaze are like, oh my God, like, what have you been doing for your skin routine? Like, things that you just look amazing. And then, Ramsey came and was like, oh my God, where were you? And it was just so cute. It's something about kids, especially his own kids, especially if you have never saw uh, um, a YouTube video with Gordon, especially during COVID, he was like doing like these 30-minute meals with his daughters and just his family. And it was just like, it is like a completely different side of Gordon. Like, it's just, I mean, even right there, you could see like his eyes was lighting up. Like, you can really tell that man loves his family. And so this, this week challenge is going to be all about reimagining classic childhood dishes. Now, before we do get into it, I'm going to do what I do every week. We have our three wonderful mentors, Chef Naisha Arrington, Chef Gordon Ramsay, and Jess Blaze, our returning champion. Now, like I said, this is our challenge. We got 30 minutes to reimagine a childhood classic. And we're going to start off at the top because we know we got those trailblazers or the boys in blue at the top. They get to get the first stab at the dishes. They get to get the first stab at the protein. And today we are going to highlight Tim. Now, I always try to think about like, what is our lesson? What are we learning? What are our chefs learning us or teaching us in this challenge? And to me, this challenge was really about who was able to pivot the best and who was able to plan ahead. If you were able to plan ahead and pivot in the midst of change, then our chefs were able to really excel in this challenge. But the chefs who bit off just a little bit more than they can chew are the ones who struggled. And so as we go into this cook, I want to highlight Tim. Tim, he gets to the platform, and the first thing that he sees is some steak, some corn, and some broccoli. Now, never ever, ever in my life have I saw steak, corn, and broccoli. It was like, oh, you know what? Pizza. Nope, just never happened. Never ever in my life. But for whatever reason, Tim saw these ingredients and was like, you know what? I'm gonna make me a bomb ass pizza. And so he picks up this dough that ends up being pasta dough, which I'm just like, damn, Tim, like, you low key took Amber's pasta dough. Like, Amber could have used that pasta dough, but it's neither here nor there. But he picked up the pasta dough, he thought it was like pizza dough, only to realize it was pasta dough. And end up saying, you know what, forget it. I'm going to make this pizza dough from scratch. Now, as Tim is doing this, Tim already has said that it typically takes him 2 days, 2 days to make a pizza crust, to make a good pizza dough. But for some reason, he said, you know what? With all of this equipment on the top level, I'm not going to need 2 days. I'm going to bust it out in 30 minutes. Now, Blaze go over there and he's asking him about it. And he's just like, you about to make pizza in 30 minutes? 25 minutes basically, because you got 55 minutes to plate. And Tim said, yep, that is what he's going to do. And so as we are going throughout this cook, we Blaze, the first thing that he tells Tim is, hey, you bit off a lot. Now you got to chew it. He's like, you need to be moving nonstop because you have a lot that you have to do. And so we see that Tim is just really racing against the clock because he's trying to do the impossible in 30 minutes, which I don't know. Like, I've never looked at those three ingredients and was like pizza. So I'm curious how Tim was able to get there. But I do like how Tim was like, he had a plan. He had a idea and a vision for this dish, and he stuck to it no matter what. Next up, we have Jared. Jared saw some ground beef on there, and right away he said that he's going to make his meatball and spaghetti. He talks about how we know that Jared is the lunch lady at school basically, and he says how spaghetti day is really big at school. He said one time they had a snow day where the kids had to miss spaghetti day and people were having meltdowns. So Jared is like, not to pop my collar, but I'm a pretty big deal when it comes to these meatballs. But the issue here was as he was creating the meatballs, they were really big, and maybe that's just because Jared is a really big guy. Maybe he's just like, my hands are so big, I can't even tell when I'm making something big. But Blaze came over and told him like, hey, you only got 30 minutes. If you make the meatball smaller, they will work out for you. I don't know if Jared was like, I ain't trying to hear that, or I do this all the time, but he went ahead and made these big ass meatballs, which we end up seeing towards the end of the cook that he just could not get them done in time. He had to drop them in a deep fryer, which made the outside shell hard. I don't want any more chefs on this competition to put another meatball in a fryer. Like, what is up with these deep fried meatballs? I just don't want to see it again. So that is how Jared kind of messed up on his end. Now we're gonna go to the middle level kitchen where our Gordon girls. I love how they like first got to the kitchen was like, oh my god, what is this? Oh, the ghetto. We have not been down here in so long because they've been in the top level kitchen, so they had to like really acclimate themselves to the space and really get ready and be like, okay, get their head on straight. And so as they're getting to the platform, Amber, she sees, what did she see? What was her protein? What was her protein? Let me see if I can find her protein. I can't remember what Amber protein was, but her idea, and remember why I was saying Tim took that pasta dough off, but her idea was to make a ravioli. If he would have just kept that pasta dough on, Amber would not have to make pasta from scratch. But anyway, so, we can't live in shoulda, coulda, wouldas. So Amber, she is going to make a, ravioli. She said that she liked them a lot as a child. But the thing that I want to highlight here with Amber is that Amber said that when she heard about the challenge, she started getting into her head because she's like, I didn't even like the kids menu when I'm a kid. And also, same child. Same sis. I was definitely eating off the adult menu as a child. I was definitely one of them kids that was like, I want lobster. I want crab cakes. Like, I was not trying to eat no damn chicken nuggets off the menu. And so as soon as Amber heard that it was a childhood reimagining the childhood classic, she ended up getting in her head about it. And we already know, if you get in your head, what did Amber teach us? I mean, not Amber. What did Cole teach us last week? If you get in your head, you're going to lose. And so Amber is starting the competition already in her head, already freaking out because she's like, I don't be doing this childhood stuff. I don't want to eat no childish food. But she said that she was going to do a ravioli. And so that is her focus. Gabriella, she ends up getting a pork belly. She says she's going to do a pork belly grilled cheese with the tomato soup. Classic. We've all had that before. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about the mid-round drop. Mid-round drop, we get potatoes. Now, before we even get to the mid-round drop, when we're doing the initial grab, everybody is like, where's the potatoes? Where are the potatoes? Where are the potatoes? So we knew potatoes were coming. But the problem was because Tim bit off more than he can chew, Amber bit off more than she could chew. She said that she can make a ravioli in 30 minutes, but could she make ravioli and some potatoes in 30 minutes? And so it's like when we are planning, the good thing about these chefs, I mean, we're in week 8 at this point, is that they have an idea. They're thinking about how much time does it take to make all of these dishes. But I think where Tim and Amber messed up is, okay, if I can get this complete within the full 20 to 25 minutes, great. But what happens if we have a mid-round drop? What if I have to pivot? And neither one of them kind of plan for those contingencies. And so when the mid-round drop comes, we have potatoes coming down, and now Tim is like, these potatoes don't go with my pizza. I don't have time to make I don't have time to make some fries on top of trying to get this pizza dough in the oven. Same thing with Amber. Amber, the potatoes come down. She has to get the potatoes. Mama started freaking out because she's just like, what am I gonna do with the potatoes? Like her mind is just like, it's like it's you can literally just see like steam clouds coming out of Amber ear because she's just like, what am I gonna do with these potatoes? Like she already only had just enough time to get these ravioli done. And so now she has to figure out what she's gonna do with the potato. She, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna do a crispy potato patty or something like that. But because now she's worried about her potato cake, she didn't forgot about the ravioli. And so when it gets down to the last minute of the cook, she has to pivot and she has to completely abandon her ravioli idea. Not a similar thing happened with Gabrielle. I really don't know what happened with Gabriella. I didn't watch the episode 2 or 3 times, and I still am like, girl, like, where did, like, you literally had everything going. It's not a super complicated meal. Oh, that's what she didn't do. She didn't plan ahead. So Gabriella said that she was going to do that grilled cheese at the last minute. I think it was the last minute, or because if she did plan it, I don't know why she didn't heat it up. But at the last minute, she said, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put my grilled cheese on the waffle iron." And Gordon was like, "Right now?" He was like, "That thing should have been heated and everything else." And so now the platform is going down. She got 90 seconds to play. The griddle isn't hot. Now she got to grill her grilled cheese within the last 90 seconds. And Gordon is just like, girl, do not do this to me. Do not do this to me right now. Do not do this to me right now. Cole fucked around, turned into a drill sergeant. Like that military stuff kicked in. She was like, on the platform right now. Move it, move it, move it. Like, it's just, Gabrielle barely made the platform, child. Barely made the platform. Amber had to completely abandon her dish. Jared put meatballs on the deep fryer. It was just a hot ass mess. It was a lot going down in this thing. Last bit. We're gonna go all the way down to the basement with those Naisha warriors who are determined to get out the goddamn basement. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm cussing a lot this morning. I got coffee. I'm on my I'm moving. I'm doing this early. I'm sorry, so forgive me for my cussing. Mm, it's so good. This coffee's so good. Anyways, I got some what is that coffee called? It's basically like crack. It's basically like crack. The Cafe Bustelo, like that is basically crack, basically. So that's why I'm like a little. That's why y'all see me like talking a million miles per hour. Anyways, let's go down to the basement with Machete. Machete, baby, if you hear this, you have proven to me. I literally wrote down. I wish you could see my notes. Is Machete the third? Is Machete the third? Is he gonna be the third finalist? I don't know. You may have heard it here first. I already told y'all it's gonna be Cole and Christian. Is Machete gonna be that third? Is he gonna get Connor up out of there? It's gonna be very interesting to see. But so Machete, he's in the basement, of course. So you know he got the last. They get to the basement. All the proteins they have left was, I want to say, some chicken thighs, some spam, and some haddock. Some haddock. I don't think I ever even had that type of fish before. So this man pulls off some fish, some chorizo, donuts, jelly, and like one hamburger bun. And he's like, what am I gonna do with this? Like he even did like a mad scientist laugh. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Naisha come over and he like, I don't have no green. I don't know what to do. Naisha like, kids don't like greens. Go with the story. He's like, I want a potato. I don't have no potato. And so Machete is trying to figure out what he's gonna do with these random ass ingredients. But eventually we come back out. I mean, we come back down to Machete, and he's like, "Bam! I'm gonna do a play on the Monte Cristo. And if you know, like Monte Cristo is like it's like a ham and cheese sandwich basically, and it's layered and it be deep fried. And so that's what Machete ended up making. The reason why I said is Machete gonna be the third, and I guess I can tell my secret of how I look at this competition. It's like when you're back, I look at chefs when their backs against the wall and they're able to pivot or come up on top or create a very next level dish, like that tells me a lot about them, about their resilience, about their drive, about their focus. And so it's just like when Cole, when she literally started to cook with nothing but then end up having the top dish, like I was really impressed. Like I'm like, that's a winner. You know, that's a winner mentality. Same thing with Machete. Machete literally had all of these random ass ingredients, and he ended up coming out with a really, really good dish. And he made it work out for himself. And so just seeing how he went from being like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and then being able to create, pivot, and create a wonderful dish, it really made me look like, you know what? Machete may be somebody that we need to watch out for. He may be that third that's gonna take it to the top. And so I talked a lot about a lot of the different dishes. So we're going to go into our mentor debate. Mentor debate on the top level kitchen. I didn't talk about it, but Christian made a Filipino. I think I'm saying this right. A Filipino breakfast sandwich with some. He used like this kimchi sauce. Like it just looked really good. Put an egg on it. Christian, no, he loved an egg. He put an egg on that breakfast sandwich. Another thing I thought was really cool is that all the guys at the top level are dads, and so they all are familiar with cooking for their kids, which I just think that is like so cool. When I grew up, when I grew up, child, when I was growing up, my dad was like a really big cooker. Like he cooked way more than my stepmom. Well, he was the better cook, you know, than my stepmom. My stepmom, of course, she cooked every now and then. But my dad was like, he was our like primary chef at home. And it's just, you know, a lot of childhood memories just come around, just, you know, eating your dad food. Like my favorite breakfast of all times is either catfish and grits or salmon patties and grits. Like, and that comes from my dad, you know, because he used to make that for me. Or like a classic, talking about the ravioli for Amber. My dad used to make this. He used to call it like a cowboy soup. And it used to be like pork and beans and hamburger. Like it's just, you know, really humble meals, but my dad just found a way to be creative and to make it taste good. And those are like memories that I will always have with me. And so if you are a daddy and you ain't really cooking like that, or you're, you know, intimidated about cooking, get your ass in the kitchen, help your wife out, because it really will be a memory that your kid will keep with them for a very, very long time. Okay. Anyways, let me get off my soapbox. So off of my soapbox, talking about all the dads on the top level. Christian, he said that he was making this for his kids. He has two little babies. His son is the same age as Gordon's child. I mean, just adorable babies, like really, really adorable babes. Darian, he made this seafood, I mean, he made this shrimp mac and cheese that looked so yummy. So those were like their two top at the those are their two top dishes at the top. Of course, they thought that Tim's piece of dough was very dense, that it just needed like a little bit more time. And I told y'all about Jared meatballs, because he dropped them bad boys in a deep fryer. They were just way too hard on the outside. In the middle level kitchen, they really, really love cold dish. Again, Cole, she's smart. She's just a smart chef. She made these beautiful harissa. I guess harissa, like, is that like it's just starting to make a comeback? Because now all of a sudden I'm seeing harissa and gochujang on all types of menu items now. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. But anyway, so she made these like harissa and bourbon barbecue lollipop chicken drums, like, yeah, lollipop chicken, I guess. I don't even know how to call them. Lollipop chicken wings, like, I guess that's what you call them. Blaze talked about how they were really, really yummy. Some of the best chicken wings that they've had in the competition, which I think that's saying a lot, because Christian had them rings in his first round. So it's like, oh shit, it's calling Christian going wing for wing. Like, are we gonna have a wing off? It's like, nah. They also really, in the middle level kitchen, they really love Andy dish. Andy did like a simple like chicken tender kind of meal. Again, Andy is also a very smart chef. I love how she cooks and how she, she get her things done and get out the way. Also, Andy still has her pen. So remember that, y'all. Andy still has her pen. Then we go down to the bottom level kitchen, and they are just, I mean, cooking it up. First of all, let's talk about Connor. I low-key love Connor. Like his energy during this whole cook, his interviews, the way that he was talking about everything. He's like, I'm just a big kid. And he literally just looked like a big kid. I just love how like just excited he is about everything. He's also another chef that is very smart, very confident, has a vision. He sticks with that vision all the way through. Connor made some chicken and waffles. I mean, you can't go wrong with no chicken and waffles. Chicken and waffles made this beautiful pistachio and coconut lime type syrup to go on top of it. And the funny thing is, when Gordon Kidd came back, he actually ended up he's like, "Daddy, I'm hungry," and he ended up eating Connor chicken. So I kind of was like, y'all should know that Connor was gonna win it. Like if the baby didn't eat the chicken, y'all, we already know what's gonna be the top dish. And so Connor did that. But we gotta talk about Daniela, y'all. Daniela made like basically biscuits and gravy with that canned spam, but her biscuits, no lie, looks like those Pillsbury flaky biscuits. And I'm like, Mama, we need the recipe. I need the recipe. Like, you made that in like 30 minutes, like 25 minutes. Like, Mama, we need that recipe. Like, I have to know. So yeah, Daniela, I had my eyes out for her. So yeah, that's everything. And I told y'all all about Machete, how he was able to pivot and come up with that beautiful Monte Cristo sandwich. And so our winner is, of course, Connor. Connor ends up taking it with the chicken and waffles, bringing our wonderful Naisha Warriors. They finally up out that basement and they get to sit back and chill in the elimination challenge. And so in the elimination challenge, it's all about squib. Am I even saying that right? Which I think is like a pigeon dish. I don't know what it is. I've never ordered it. Matter of fact, the restaurant that I was going to go to for my birthday, because I think I'm about to change my reservation, they had that on their menu. And I'm like, that is very interesting. And that also is the reason why I'm like, you know what? It's not enough options on this, enough options at this restaurant. Like, I don't want my family to kill me and be like, we can't eat at this fancy ass place. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So now we are in our elimination challenge, and we have Amber and we have Tim, and they are having a squab off, which is, I guess, a pigeon, a type of bird. Neither one of them are familiar with it. Amber takes more of a traditional approach. She's pan roasting it, she's basting it, whereas Tim was deep frying it. He coated it, put it in the fryer. Now, I'm gonna be honest, because everybody, the way that they were looking at it, and Machete was like, I can't watch, and Daniela was like, that's raw, she can't feed that to the judges. Like, I was really nervous for my girl Amber, because I'm like, oh my God, y'all, are we about to lose Amber? Are we about to lose Amber? But then we get down to the elimination, we get down to the judges tasting the eliminated dishes, or I don't even know how to explain it. The elimination judging. And they said that Amber's squid was cooked perfectly. And they said that Tim's, although that his coating was really good, it didn't taste like squid anymore. It actually tastes like chicken, which I'm like, isn't that a win? But maybe not a win. That's why they don't have us as judges. So I'm like, oh, perfect. He changed how it tastes. Of course kids go eat it. And they like, no. So they end up going with Amber, and we end up losing Tim, which I'm like, I'm so sad to see him go. But one thing that I will say about Tim is, like, it don't matter, if Tim is about to go into the elimination, or if he's just, getting ready to be judged. Like, Tim, the way he stand, his head up high, like, he always just, to me, he just exudes confidence. And so it was like Tim went home, but it's like, he went home with his head up high. He was happy. He said this is an amazing competition. And he gets to go back and, like, keep feeding his kids, keep being that stay-at-home dad. I love how he had his hours. He's like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., which also is like, that's a long-ass day. That's a long day. That's a long day. But, he just talks about, like, even though he had to go into the elimination and feel that pressure, he's like, I feel that pressure all the time. Like, having to take the kids to those different practices and then get, dinner on the table within 25 minutes flat. I do that. That's what he does. So we end up losing Tim. Sad to see him go, but it was amazing to have him around. And again, he's also somebody I wouldn't mind, going to a pop up, checking him out. Final thoughts. So our life advice is going to come from Chef Blaze, or Chef Blaze or whoever said it. Don't bite off more than you can chew. When you are in a competition or just in life, sometimes we can over plan or be a little bit overzealous, or we're just like, I'm going to do this. I don't mean, I do this all the time where, like, say for example, I already know my Mondays are pretty packed, are pretty jam packed, because I have to, edit the podcast. I have to actually do, my job. I gotta, it's just other things that I have to do. And sometimes I'm like trying to do a million things in one day, and it's just not possible. And sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves. And so, like Chef Blaze say, if you bite off a lot, then you got to chew it. So just be mindful about how much you are taking on. I know, especially if you're listening to this and you may be a person of color, we just have this tendency to just, drag ourselves into the ground, grind it out, do as, just overly work ourselves to death. And sometimes it's just not worth it. We can really end up putting ourselves in a position where we could be eliminated, just because we're trying to push the limit, just because we know we got a 30-minute limit. We know we ain't never made pizza in 30 minutes, but because we're in this competition, we're going to try to push it. No, make smart decisions, really be mindful about biting off more than you can chew. And also, like, again, when you are, thinking about from Amber, when you are in those moments of panic, you just have to breathe. You have to breathe, because if you keep looking and saying, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, you're not going to be able to think. You're wasting time. And then, it can be done. You can end up being eliminated. Thankfully, we didn't have to see that with Amber. Mentor beef, nothing to report still. I think our mentors are still just, they're all in it. Gordon is happy that he's the only one with 4 team members left. Um, we're getting down to the wire, so it's going to be very interesting to see how everything unfolds. Predictions. So I think my prediction is going to come down to Jared and Gabriella. I think those two are the next up on the chopping block. The reason why I say that is just because, like, Amber, the way that she handled that elimination challenge, cooking a dish she really didn't know, cooking a protein she really didn't know, and killing it, it's just, that type of resilience is something that you can't teach. Like, there's something about, like, she's locked in. And so I really don't see Amber going back down there. But for Gabriella to, I don't really know what happened with her in this cook, and as well as Jared. Jared's always been playing it safe, but I would be interested to see how he's going to do in these next competitions. Um, the next episode, I honestly really don't even remember what they said the next episode is supposed to be. So we will see, but I will let you guys know. The next episode for us, I may be a little bit late because we are going into my birthday weekend. Whoop, whoop, birthday weekend. Whoop, whoop. And and I have a lot of plans, and so I don't know. Um, it's gonna be tough, y'all. It's really gonna be tough. I think I'm gonna try. I think moving forward, I'm just gonna have to try to watch the episodes on Friday and record on Friday, but we'll still try to get it out on Monday. But just, just a heads up, if you don't see this in your feed on Monday, give me till Tuesday. It is my birthday weekend, and I have been pretty consistent. So, if I messed up this week, blame it on my birthday. Don't blame it on my laziness. Okay. All right, y'all. That is all I have for you. I will let you know that I am going to today. I'm going to dive into some DMs, see if we can get us some more exit interviews before this season wrap up. But you let me know, who would you love to see on the podcast? Send me a message at dearshowrunners@gmail.com. I would be happy to know, and maybe that could give me extra fuel to be like, well, I have people reaching out to me. Like, you have to do the podcast because I have people asking about you. But we'll see, y'all. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. I am your host, Honest Am, of the Dear Showrunners podcast, as well as the creator of Honestly Sis. If you love what you hear here, please make sure you check me out at www.honestlysis.com. This spring, I'm about to start dropping short stories, and the newsletter cycle is about to start up again. So if you love this type of life advice, or just finding the lessons in the midst of chaos, you may really want to make sure that you check out our newsletter or join our mailing list. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for making my dreams come true. Now get your ass out there and work on your own. I will see you at the top, friend, or in the next level. Bye bye.